What's going on, everybody? It's me, Joel Simmons, back again for another show of It Starts With Me. Today, we have a magnificent guest that's going to be here with us today. It is Tamara, and she is wonderful. She is cool, calm, collected. You're going to absolutely enjoy her. She's going to talk with us about the different things that she has done in her life and how she made it through the military, and she came out with these fundamentals that changed her life and is now changing other people's lives as well. So stay tuned. She'll be with us in just a moment. First off, we'd like to remind everybody that every single Monday, my brother, Michael Seville, will be having his show at 9 o'clock. It's called What It Takes. Of course, you're back here on Wednesdays, 12:30, and you'll be able to see who we have for It Starts With Me. And we conclude the week once again with Michael Seville at 6:30. You'll be able to find us in the Community Beacon. All right, without further delay, let me go ahead and give you an introduction of Miss T here. And her name is Tamara Demery, and she is obsessed with all things inspirational. She's been the host of the Inspiriting with T podcast since November 2021, in which her focus has been encouraging self-development in order to overcome life's challenges by utilizing her voice. She has been able to help others recognize their own greatness. Previously, she served as a United States Army soldier for almost 5 years, where she developed discipline, integrity, honor, and the duty to serve her country. As a result of this work, she is now 6 years into entrepreneurial journey that continues to flourish. She loves sharing her experience with others and her deepest passion, and always hope to help them thrive despite their circumstances. She encourages you all to let your spirit thrive. Without further delay, let's show our guests.
Hello.
Hey there.
Oh, nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. You've been really busy lately, haven't you?
Yes. Very busy, and trying to make sure I take some time to rest while being busy too.
I know that's right. That's good, though. That's good.
Yes,
You look very nice.
Busy.
What's that?
I said, I'm sure you've been busy as well.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it has not stopped. It has not stopped. So as far as it comes down to rest though, I've been doing all right. I'll say I've been doing okay. I mean, I'm trying to maintain at least like 6 hours of sleep at night. And so,
Right.
there you
As
have
an adult, that is good to have 6 hours, but we can do better than that.
Yeah, I would like to do 8 hours, but that's just not where I am right now. How about you? What are you doing for sleep?
Actually, I take days off. I look at my schedule, see what I have, and I just take a day and just go to the spa and rest. So I take a day to rest, and I schedule that at least once a month. So I have monthly spa days. So that helps with getting rest and taking care of myself. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I was like, you know what? Do I have to do it right now, or can it be done later? So you have to just prioritize what can be done now and what you can do later. So, and I know we only have one body, so I'll try to take care of it as much as I can.
Awesome. What about your husband? Is he doing the same thing?
Yes. So we know what each other needs, and we alternate, and I was like, okay, it's your turn, my turn. We tag team, and our daughter, she's right in there with us. So it works out for everyone. Everyone takes the time to rest. And she also takes her day off from her friends and playing and her sports, and she takes some time as well to rest. Because you can't perform well if you're not well rested.
Really? I love that.
Got to have a little work-life balance. So it's hard to do, but if you make it work, it can work.
Now, do you think that you learned that just as growing up, or maybe because you have a military background as well? Did you get that from the military?
Yes, I actually had to learn that in the military, because you have to be disciplined with the military, and time management is a big thing in the military. they will always say, if you're 15 minutes early, you're late. So you really have to be like 30 minutes to an hour early just to be on time, because anything can happen. I remember one time I was late. I was 15 minutes early. They said, oh, you're late. A lot has happened. When I showed up, I was like, wait a minute. I missed all of that. They was like, well, you're supposed to be on time, and that's not on time. I was like, but I'm 15 minutes early. So I had to learn that. And when I learned that, I was like, okay. And then it also helped me when I was in the battlefield, that anything can happen at any moment and you have to be prepared for it. So that actually helped in the military to have that balance, and then separating from work and being in the field, that helped as well. So when I go home to visit family, I left the military at the military on base. I left it there. And when I went home, hey, I was with my family. I enjoyed every moment. And I didn't talk about work. I didn't even think about work until it was time to go back. But doing that, sometimes I'm a workaholic. So that could be hard. I love to work. When I have something to do, I like to get it done, and I'm not stopping until it's done. I had to learn to step back sometimes and realize, hey, you got to have that work-life balance, because your family is still here and you're just out working, and you're missing all those moments because you're working. I had to learn that with myself, because I was just working, and never had time for anything else. So I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I'm going to sit down, because you got to have those moments, because you can't get those moments back with your family. That moment is that moment. And once it passes, time doesn't wait for no one. Time keeps going. It doesn't stop. Can't get it back, because at the end of the day, the work is still going to be there. The job is still going to be there. Everything that you do for work is still going to be there. And even if you're not at work, it's still going to keep moving like a machine, whether you're there or not. But your family, if you're not there, sometimes it can fall in the cracks. You can lose your family, or sometimes you won't even be there because you're missing all those moments because of work. So everyone plays a part, and sometimes it tears family apart because someone wants to work. And the child suffers, the family suffers, and you suffer sometimes because you want to work, you want to get it done, but you haven't figured out the balance. So I had to figure out that balance. And once I figured that out, everything runs smoothly. So when I clock out from work, I'm done with work. I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it. Once I'm done, once I close that laptop, once I log out, once I'm done looking at emails, I am done for the day. And it's my family time, my free time. And then when it's time for me to clock back in, that's when I go back in. But you got to learn how to have a good work-life balance, because some people don't care. Some employers don't care. They want your life to be revolved about just work, but you have a life outside of work. And most people don't think that they have a life outside of work. You got to create that for yourself.
That's very good. So you have a high level of focus.
Yes. I learned that in the military. Military was great, because most of the time I was all over the place. Military will help you focus, especially on the things that matter in that moment. So some things we focus on, it can be a distraction, and we don't realize it's a distraction until we actually have like a deadline for something to turn in for work or anything like that. You don't realize something is taking you away, your focus away from what you're actually supposed to be doing and being responsible. Because anything can tear us away from anything at any moment, like a party or a function or anything like that can take your focus in just a second. Or even with the media, the news, we watch it every day. That can take our focus, and we'll wrap ourselves in what's going on at every second with a big news story, and we'll forget, hey, you still got to get this done. Hey, I still got to do all of this. And it can take your focus away. So what I do is I don't watch TV. If I'm home on an off day, I don't turn the TV on until my family comes home and we watch something together. Because I don't want to get wrapped up in what's going on all the time, because everything is not good for me. And I realize that some things that I consume, whether it's watching TV or even on social media, you have to take a break from that and realize, hey, there's a reality outside of what's going on out there. You got to make your own reality and the best reality for you.
So how did the military really help you to, structure your work-life balance and gain this precision focus that you have and are able to utilize both in work and also in your home?
The military helped me because, for one, it teaches you to cherish those moments when you do have them with your family. Because I deployed twice when I was in the military. So I was going to be gone away from my family for a year at a time on those deployments. So being away from your family, you appreciate those moments and that time that you have with them, because you're working an entire year without even seeing. Sometimes you don't even get to speak to them, maybe a couple times out the month, or sometimes you go months without speaking to your loved ones. And you have to realize, hey, some things I have to do different when I get back, because while you were training, while you were there, you were more focused on the job and you forgot, hey, I got them too. So when you away from, sometimes it takes you missing something to appreciate it more. And when you are away from your family, you appreciate them more. So when you get back, you understand, hey, when I get off, most of the time in the military, you get off at 5, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Okay, when I'm off at 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'm done with the Army. I'm done, and that's my family time, that's my free time. And when it's time for me to go back 6 o'clock in the morning for exercising, for PT, then I'm back on the clock. And even on my lunch break, I make it about my family and not the military. So I learned that going through working and going on deployments, to appreciate every moment, because at any moment in the military, your life can be taken away from you. So you have to have that balance. You don't want to have that last conversation you had with someone be months ago, when you have 10 minutes. You can call them. All it takes is 2 seconds to dial someone's number and leave a message. You don't want that last moment to be months ago, a year ago, because you're so focused on getting the job done. Because while you're deployed, there's no guarantee you're going to come back home. Every moment matters. Every second matters. So if you have a second of your time, at least have a balance to send a message or a call or spend it with your family. Even FaceTime. Now you have FaceTime, so you can just look at them now. Back then, we didn't have that option. We had to call. So it's great to have that balance and realize that the most important things is not the accolades that you get from work. It's the people that you have in your life. So the military taught me that. You have great people at work, but you also have great people that love you and unconditionally at home.
Very good. So you say you were deployed twice.
Yes.
You mind sharing with us where you were deployed?
Yes, I went to Iraq and I went to Pakistan. So that was very interesting, very, very challenging at times. But I learned a lot about myself and about the cultures over there and just people in general. So yes, being deployed opened my eyes to a lot of things in the world and how to have more patience, because my patience was very thin. Being in the military, your patience it runs thin in the military. So I had to learn that being deployed. Hey, okay, it's gonna take some time. It'll be all right. Everything will be just fine. And I learned that, and I learned to make home wherever I am. As long as I'm safe, that's home. And even though I was in another country deployed, that was still my home for that year or that I was deployed. Pakistan was my home. Iraq was my home because I was safe in my home and I was surrounded by love from my coworkers, or as we call them in the Army, battle buddies. So I was with my battle buddies having peace of mind. I had a peace of mind because we were safe. We were keeping each other safe. And we had those moments where we would play games or whatever, have conversations where we didn't have our families there. The military, you have a special bond with people and they become your family. And most of those people are still my family today. Like you have I don't know how to describe it, but once you join the military, it's like an unbreakable bond that you have with people from all over the world, and you just connect because everyone, they understand you on the military side. And sometimes your family doesn't quite get that, but they understand because they experiencing some of those things, and y'all can relate and be there for each other as well outside of work. So the Army has taught me a lot about appreciate family, time, and just being patient.
That's interesting. So I guess you took some of those skills and you brought them back home. Do you think that these are skills that people are able to learn that, because there's sometimes careers or people that are looking to achieve certain things on the civilian side of the world that draws them out into, their career path, especially dealing with maybe marketing or sales, different things like that, where it just carries them in certain directions. I know now with Zoom, it's a lot easier to compact that inside of a home. But, there was a time when you had to travel across the world and go visit every single doctor's office or every single, whatever it was to present the sale. You can be called for weeks, months, et cetera, et cetera. So do you think that the things that you learn, you'll be able to share that with, your child or someone else and, to help guide them along the pathway?
Yes, I do. I actually share with my siblings because they actually watched me go through my journey in the military and saw how I handled that. And that's how they handle their situations when it comes to their career in their life and how they want to lead and do things. And I also carried it with me outside of the military, back into the civilian world, because I have my own business now, and I've been doing that for 6 years now. This year will be 6 years, and it has to be consistent. And the military, thank you. And the military taught me that I can do all those things outside of the military. My life was not revolved around the military. A lot of people have an issue when they leave the military, they don't know what to do. When you leave any career or you're changing anything about yourself, you kind of have that fear, like you don't know what to do. So one thing that I love about myself is I don't have fear. I just have more faith than I do fear. I don't let anything, if it scares me, I'm going to try it even more. I'm going to pray about it, and then I'm going to take that risk because I know God is going to direct me wherever it's going. Whether it works out or not, He will lead me to something that's even better along the way, just as long as I try and keep going. So that's what I took. Well, that's how I've always been before the military, is I love to try things. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I learned a lesson from it, and then I go to something else. But if it works, I learn how to get better, and I learn how to improve. And I also learn just by talking to people. You can learn so much from people and asking questions. I love to ask questions. I always want to know why things are a certain way. Why is it working that way? And I taught my daughter to ask questions. She asked a million questions all the time. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have taught her that. But it works out because she wants to know why, and she researches and she wants to understand. And you have to do that as well with your life. If you have a career, if you have a vision that you want to accomplish, you have to sit down and write down the pros and cons, your why, your reason why. Because if you're just doing something just to be doing it, you're not going to fulfill it because it's just something to do. If you are passionate about anything that you do, you have to take care of it like it's your child, because that's your baby. And your life is your baby, and the passion and the change that you want to make in the world is your baby. So you have to take care of it. And sometimes you have to be quiet about it, because whatever God gave you may be for you, but He wants you to share it with the world, of course. But while you're on that journey, you have to let some things go, let some people go, let some old habits go. and he will clean you out, because sometimes God will hold on to your blessings and your gifts until you let certain things go. And if you are trying to reach a certain part in your career or even in your life, sometimes you have to change your environment. Sometimes you have to change the people you hang around. Sometimes you have to change those habits, that negative thinking that you have. You have to change those things. You have to do that work first. And then once you do all that work, God's blessings just going to overflow and pour. And you're going to be like, wow, it's all happened at once, because he prepared you for it. And sometimes when we're not prepared, we wonder why we're so stuck and we can't do and succeed in things, because we got a lot of stuff in the way. And it's just God's protection. Sometimes that protection, you don't understand it until after all those things have been removed for your life. And anybody that's struggling or wants to add the same type of concepts I had in the military, you can do that with your life. It's not just the military. It's just a life thing. It's a lifestyle. It all depends. It all starts here in your mind. Once you have made it up in your mind, your heart, and everything else will follow, because God didn't give you that thought. He didn't give you that vision for you to just keep it. He wants you to let it out. He wants you to use it. Everyone has a gift. And once you realize that you have a gift to give to this world, you'll use it, and you might find more gifts along the way. So it can be applied to everyday life. You just have to have the mindset to do it. To say, I'm going to do it regardless, no matter what comes my way.
Yes, I love that. You know, we sing a song, it goes, my heart is fixed and my mind's made up. Said I'm going every step of the way. Have you ever heard that song?
Yes, I hear it all the time in church. Yes, amen to that. And that song is telling you that your heart is fixed and your mind is made up. Once those things line up, there's nothing that's impossible for you. Nothing. And you can achieve anything you want. I'm a box. I'm an open box, actually. I believe I'm the box with the lid open, and that everything that I want to achieve, I'm going to leave that box open, because it's going to be pouring, and I'm going to experience, and I'm going to do everything I can while I'm here. So why not? I always say, why not? Why can't I have 4 or 5 different businesses? Why can't I have 10 gifts? Why can't I have 1 million visions to fulfill while I'm here? God gave them to me, so why not use them, right?
Right.
Right. You're not just subjective to one thing. There's multiple things that you can do in this world, multiple things that you're great at. You just have to try it first. Once you try, it can be done. Sometimes it's going to be harder to achieve certain things, but as long as you put in the work and you're consistent and disciplined and you have focus to do those things, it can be done. Everything is achievable. You just have to believe first in your mind.
I love that. You mentioned something earlier that I wanted to circle back to, and you were talking about fear and faith. And it's a philosophy that I've heard and I believe deeply in, that where fear is, faith doesn't dwell. And where faith is, fear doesn't either.
Yes. And that's how I live my life. Faith over fear. That's always been my thing. A mustard seed. That's all you need. Just that little bit. And you can do it. That's all you need. And I've always been that way. Even when I was a little girl, I've always believed in. When I was little, people were like, you're crazy. That's never going to happen. I'm like, watch. It's going to happen. You'll see. As long as I believe it and God says so, it can be done.
Yeah.
Because people will try to project their insecurities onto you and their fears, and you can't take that burden. You can't take that on. That's why I protect my vision all the time. Everything that God has given to me, I protect it, and I research and I work on it. And then when he tells me I'm ready to release it, then I release it. And then people are shocked, like, oh my goodness, you did that. Yes. Because God told me to. And sometimes you can delay your blessings and your visions by talking too much. Sometimes you have to be quiet and protect it, because sometimes you can ask people to pray for you while you're doing certain things, but they're actually praying on you. They're praying your downfall. And you don't want that around you. So you have to be protective because it's your baby. Like I said, it's your baby. To protect your baby. Just like I protect my daughter, just like you protect your children and your family. You have to do that with your dreams and your visions and your gifts as well.
That's beautiful. I love that. That's gold right there.
Yes. Yes.
Gold. So I'm fired up about it. It's so great seeing you again. Can you tell everybody what you do?
Yes, I actually am. For 6 years, I've been a little sign fairy lady. You may see them all over the country. I do birthday signs. I put them out in people's yards at night, and the kids or the family member, they wake up and like, oh, it's a surprise. So yeah, they're surprised. The big happy birthday signs. It was actually on the Ellen show, the company that I work for. It was on the show of Ellen for her, I think her last episode, her 3,000th episode. We were on there advertising for our company. So we have over 500 locations. So it's pretty big. So yes, you can. I've been doing that for 6 years, and it all started because I ordered it for my daughter. and while I was ordered it for my daughter, it said join our team. So I was like, why not? So I filled it out, and a month later, I was the owner in my location. I was like, okay. I took that leap of faith, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I've been doing it for 6 years, and I love it. And my daughter learned so much. It's taught her so much. And I think the best part about it is I learned about the stories behind the sign. It's more than just the sign. The stories behind it, the things that people are experiencing. It means so much to them. It brings so much joy to their lives. And it's amazing, especially during the pandemic. No one can go outside. No one can celebrate anything. You couldn't really touch each other. So we had those signs in people's yards, and they would do drive-by celebration. Everyone would drive by and see the sign and celebrate, and the person will be outside, and they'll be so happy that people drove by and saw their birthday sign to celebrate their special moment. So we did that, and I was so grateful that I could have a business that kept me going even when the world was in shambles. So you can look up Carve My Yard at any time. It's everywhere. It's all over the United States. Hopefully we can go international pretty soon because we have almost 500 locations.
And your podcast?
Oh, yes. And my podcast, I actually started that. That was another risk I took. One of my good old battle buddies said, you should try podcasting. I think you have the voice to do that. I was like, really? So I did my research, and here we are. And I've been podcasting this will be year number 2 in November. So I've been doing this, and I've met so many great people, and you're one of those great people along the way and those connections. And I have a podcast family now, so that is amazing. So I love it.
That's awesome. Well, is there anything that you'd like to leave with the audience on today as we get ready to close out?
Yes, I would tell them to, no matter what is going on in your life, if you have a vision, a dream, anything that you want to achieve, don't let anyone stop you. You have the power to use your voice, to use your gifts. Take what God has given you and pursue it, because you only have one life. And my thing is, I want everyone to live their best life. I always say that, to live your best life, honey. And I think that you should live your best life by doing the things that make you happy, that bring you joy and peace, and sharing it with the world, because even it doesn't matter about the size of the audience, long as you are getting whatever it is that you want to get out to the world. That is what matters. Long as it's bringing you joy and you're passionate about it. And never forget your why. Always remember your why. When things get hard and you just want to quit, remember why you started. Every time I want to take a break from podcasting, I get a message of why I'm doing it. And I was like, okay, there we are. Okay, I'm back on track now. I got it. 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 So God will send those messages through people all the time of why you should keep going, even when it gets hard. Stay consistent and stay focused. Don't let anything stop you, because you can achieve great things. And that mustard seed, keep that mustard seed with you. That faith over fear. Don't stop, and you can do whatever it is you set your mind to.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Wonderful. I'm so glad to have had you on our show today.
I'm glad to have been here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you are inspiration. 100% inspiration.
Thank you.
Yeah. Magnificent. She is just absolutely magnificent. And her business name is Inspiriting with T Podcast. Inspiriting with T Podcast. And I got a chance to be on her show once, and we just hit it off. I think that she asks amazing questions. And not only does she do that, but she's so knowledgeable, and she has spirit about herself. Just calm, cool, collected, smart, and always progressive. And I love that she gave us hints or even lessons on how we can achieve work-life balance, as well as one of the major things that she was talking about is just cherishing your family. So no matter where you are, as much as it starts with you, it starts with me. Peace.